I tell a lot of y'all in week one that after a while, these reaction videos, these post game reaction videos, were gonna be a lot more serious, and I'm not gonna be sitting here happy and competent in these reaction videos. Now I'm just pissed already, and it's only week 4 of the NFL season. New York Giants lose to the Dallas Cowboys 20-15 on Thursday Night Football. I don't even know what to say at this point. That game had to be one of the more conservative games I ever watched from this team. It's not even close, honestly. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm not going to be confident in Daniel Jones fully ever again. This game was probably the chance to say, there's a good chance if he plays well, I can maybe be confident in him. Maybe. And he didn't play great. And I know what some of you guys are going to say. Well, you're a casual. Look at his stats. They were pretty good. If you watch that game from the eye test standpoint, honestly, and you actually watch football, you're deep into it, and you go deep into it and watch film consistently, you know that game was not good. And if it was to you, the bar is extremely low, and I mean extremely low. I failed to understand how the Giants spent so much time in training camp focusing on deep shots, making that a big part of their game, and this guy has not hit on, 4 deep shots all year out of 16 attempts. I truly don't understand how this became so much of a vocal point for the Giants when you interpret Malik Neighbors into this offense and nothing's changed. And here's the thing with Daniel Jones, I want to hate on him for this, but I'm not going to at this point. Deep balls were a big part of his game at one point. That was one of his strongest assets outside of running the ball. But we have not seen that asset in a while at this point. We saw it a couple times in 2022, especially in that game against the Vikings, but we have not seen it ever since then. It's like he had it and now it's gone. Now, back in my day, if you don't throw a single touchdown in a game, you don't do anything of significance in a game, you didn't have a good game. You were just there pretty much. And that's what I thought for Daniel Jones. If you thought he had a great game and you watched this game, I'm not going to argue with you about it because I can't change your opinion. But like I said, in my opinion, if you don't throw a single touchdown or do anything of significance, you didn't have a good game, honestly. You were just there. And if you thought Daniel Jones was going to be the only person that receives slant in this video, he's not even going to receive the most from me. Darius Slayton needs to go. He needs to go. And Darius Slayton has been one of my favorite receivers on this team for a while now, simply because he's been the only consistent receiver. But now, I'm just, over him at this point. He's been dropping balls all year. He's been doing that for the last couple weeks, and I'm over it. And you mean to tell me Jalen Hyatt is that much worse than him? You mean to tell me Jalen Hyatt can't play over a guy who's been having drops for the past couple weeks at this point? Like, are we serious? I refuse to believe that. This guy wants a huge contract, and he's not playing like it. He hasn't been playing like it the last couple weeks. And he's that much better than Hyatt. I refuse to believe that. I can't believe that. People are going to point to those drops to being the reason that we lost. But here's what I'm going to say. If you're not a part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. With Daniel Jones, he's not a part of the solution. That means he's part of the problem. The receivers outside of Malik Neighbors, they're not a part of the solution. So that means they're a part of the problem as well. And that's really it with this team, in my opinion. They're just a very mediocre offense. The offensive line is obviously a lot better now. The running game is still, in my opinion, really not all that good. Devin Singletary had a couple of games that were okay. But overall, I don't think he's great, in my opinion. I mean, the receivers outside of Malik Neighbors aren't really great. I think Wan'Dale Robinson is okay. Darius Slayton, like I said, the drop problem. And then Jalen Hyatt apparently is so bad that he can't even start our Darius Slayton, in my opinion, I guess. So truthfully, I don't know what's going on there with them. And then Daniel Jones, he's just a limited quarterback. And I think a lot of people need to realize that he is not going to be anything more than a high caliber backup at this point. He can be good for certain games, but if you're expecting him to be a 4,000-yard passer who can throw 25 plus touchdowns every year, he's not going to do that. Simple as that. I'm going off track here. Let me get back to the game. I want to say the defense did their job, but did they really? For like the 100th year in a row, we still can't get pressure on Dak Prescott. I think we had 1 sack in this game against Dak, and I actually found a huge statistic. We've sacked Dak 6 times in the last couple years. 6 times. And he has beaten us, what, 12 times? He's 12-0. Now he's 13-0. So, yeah, you can already tell that's a pretty bad stat. I don't think I even need to explain why that's a bad stat. Speaking of defense, coming into this game, by the way, the Cowboys had the worst rushing defense in the league. The worst. And guess how many yards per carry, and yards in general, the Giants had in the running game with this team? Giants had 24 carries in this game for 26 yards. They had 1.1 yards a carry versus the worst rushing defense in the league right now. They made this run defense look like the 2001 Baltimore Ravens. That is how bad this team was. 2000 Baltimore Ravens, by the way. Correction. So not only can't this team hit on deep routes when they have them, they also can't run the ball. So a lot of y'all that were saying Saquon was so much worse than Devin Singletary this year, you're looking stupid because honestly, we probably win this game if we had Saquon. I gotta be honest with you. Hopefully, a lot of y'all realize that Devin Singletary is nothing more than a bridge caliber running back. That's all he's ever gonna be. That's all he ever was in Houston with the Buffalo Bills. He put up for a few games, but overall, he was never a really great running back. Truthfully, I don't know what more I can say about this team that hasn't been said yet. The offense is still not great. I mean, that's pretty straightforward now. I'm pretty sure everybody knows that this defense is still not great either. They might have looked good on paper today, but overall, if you were still really watching this game, I mean, it wasn't really all that great, honestly. And we play the Seahawks Sunday, so next Sunday, of course. And honestly, I don't even want to imagine how that game is going to go. If you want my takeaways, this offense is just limited. Daniel Jones is limited. Darius Slayton, get off my team. I'm so serious too. Cowboys still own us, and unfortunately, we'll see them again on Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, in their own stadium. Honestly, really all I have to say. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to my channel and tap the bell icon for future football content. And if you're still here, I'll have another video out probably shortly after this one or a couple hours after this one. Just check it out. Tap the bell icon and when you subscribe. And follow me on social media down below in the description. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.